Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
All right, welcome in. It is Woodward Nights, baby, on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate all of you guys tuning in. This is officially last show of the week for Woodward Nights, and it is our Lions pregame show for our squad here tonight. No show tomorrow for us. We apologize. But we're going to give you guys everything Detroit Lions. I thought of a positive out of this, Broder. We're the first show that's going to be doing the Lions pregame
Oh, yeah.
stuff. Shows have been talking about it a little bit. We're the first show that's going to go full on Lions versus New Orleans Saints today. Everything you need to know. We've obviously got our Detroit Lions beat reporter, Matt Broder, in the house as always.
Howdy.
We've got Jalen in the TD booth. We've got Nick in the sound booth as always. He's over there talking about the Pistons still.
Oh, stop it. Just trying to figure out this audio, making sure the audience is all set tonight.
And we do have Lucas just sitting there eating his dinner, watching the show live. I don't think you have a mic, but whatever you said, I'm sure it was beautiful.
Suck it.
I think we might mute your mic just so you don't fart on our show.
Sorry.
Ugh.
This is
Can't be mad.
This is your last Woodward Nights, though. Our last show doing Woodward Nights, as Lucas is an employee of Woodward Sports, because tomorrow we don't have a show.
Doing some ASMR.
ASMR, yeah.
It's chips right now, so I'm going to give him the quick mute. So back to you, boys.
Great
Trivia,
call.
what does ASMR stand for?
I don't know, but when I'm scrolling through TikTok sometimes, do you guys ever see those ones that when those girls are like, and they're like, and then the caption's like, "I'll help you fall asleep." It's really creepy.
I haven't seen that one.
It's so creepy.
I've seen the one
dude.
where the guy peels off the eggshell one by one.
Yes, and it's like live all the time.
Yes, he talks.
How is he always alive?
There's a lot of eggs. I mean, you get 12 eggs in a dozen. You do that 12 times. Each one takes like an hour or two. Talk about a business.
That would be so boring.
Egg peeling.
That would be so boring. Hey, real quick, I want to do this announcement, Broder. It was announced today. On our show, we've talked a lot in regards to flexing games and different things. Jalen, I think I put through the graphics in there. If you want to throw up, the Detroit Lions versus the Denver Broncos game has been flexed. Not into Monday Night Football, but it is Saturday night in prime time, 8:15 p.m., Saturday, December 16th. I think before it was whether it was going to be Saturday or Sunday, and I think they were like, hey, I think they looked at the two biggest games of the week. I think the Eagles got put on Monday Night Football, and then the Lions got put Saturday night in the prime time.
Short week. A little bit of an advantage being the home team in that game, but hey, 8:15 on Saturday.
Who did they play before? Who was it? Packers. Or no, Bears.
No, Bears. Yeah, Bears, Broncos, Vikings, Cowboys, Vikings.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I think that's huge, though. That's just another, it shows kind of what this franchise is doing.
Freddie.
Just another flex game. It's another primetime game that the Lions are getting. Would not be surprised down the stretch if they get any more. Like one of those Vikings games gets actually, that Cowboys game, that's going to end up being, if the Lions win all the way up to the Cowboys.
But isn't there, I think there's a reason. Like, there's another good game that weekend that's already on? I don't know. Who knows?
We could check
We'll
that.
take any opponent, any day of the week, any time, any place, except Baltimore.
And I was going to say,
go there.
Eagles on the road. I don't know if I want to take that.
They'll take down.
Oh, actually, no. What it is in the schedule thing here. Thursday Night Football that week is Jets-Browns. There's only one Saturday game that week on Week 17 at 8:15 p.m. on ABC and ESPN. Guess who it is?
I have no idea.
Lions-Cowboys.
Really? That is the Saturday game.
That's a Saturday primetime game on ESPN.
Well, there you go.
So there we go. That's two more primetime games coming for the
America's team versus the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, sir.
Go.
Let's go.
You guys were talking about Cowboys. Seahawks at the Dallas Cowboys today. Cowboys are 9.5-point favorites, Broder. We'll go around the room, get our picks in here.
Yeah.
It's a 9-point favorite, so I don't really... I'm going to ask actually all of the boys besides you, Broder, to pick by the spread. I want to do spread because
spread 'em.
9.5 points is like... That's the money line is probably minus 400. Nick, I'll start with you on this one. Who do you have here? Who are you taking against the spread?
Give me the Hawks. Covering the 9.5. I think that's a lot of points. I know they haven't looked too sharp the past few games, but I got them covering in Dallas. And shout out my buddy Ryan, who was at the game down in Dallas.
For a second, I was like, oh, the game's in Detroit?
No, shout out my buddy Ryan. He's at the game.
Shout out Ryan. Jalen, who you got in this one? What are you taking against the spread?
Cowboys.
You think they blow them out?
My cousin plays for this. I'm biased.
Okay.
Who's your cousin?
Jordan Lewis.
Oh,
Yeah,
go
that's the
blue.
homie, yeah, so I'm biased.
oh.
Spell with a U, right?
Lucas, you want to talk to him about Jordan Lewis?
Yeah.
Hey, me and Jordan Lewis have beef, Jay.
Oh, no.
Big. It was
Yeah.
pretty big, too.
Yeah, we got into it on Twitter.
Oh, no.
It
not,
happened.
Not Grover.
True story.
Sid and Jordan.
Uh-huh.
How about you, Broder?
Chase Claypool, and he didn't like the way that I called him out.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
It's all right.
You didn't come over for Christmas, pal.
Okay.
Broder, you're not picking against the spread.
Right, I'm just
Not
thinking
allowed to. You
straight
gotta
up
pick straight
money
up.
lines.
It's easy for you. I'm sure
going
you know.
Cowboys.
All right, yeah.
I do think this is. I don't know if you can call the Seahawks a trap game, but with this spread, it seems like a trap. Like why are the Cowboys so much favored so much? They are playing really well. Seahawks aren't playing as well, but I don't know.
I think that 49ers game, like,
Yeah, that's why
Move the line
I
a
don't
ton.
mind Nick's pick with the spread.
that's where I'm going to go, too.
Not too shabby.
I think the Seahawks keep it close. I do have as well, though. I do have a CeeDee Lamb touchdown. And then I did have a little 3-leg parlay. I think it was CeeDee Lamb 6 catches. I can't remember it. I don't want to give it out if I don't have it. I think it's CeeDee Lamb 6 catches, Tony Pollard 50 yards, and then there was one more leg. It was like plus 200, and that's all I have for tonight on that game. Plus 9.5. What is it?
Raheem Dowdle, their backup running back.
I don't know.
Straight cash,
Touchdown.
homie.
The last leg to the parlay is Dak 250. So Dak 250, Tony Pollard 50 yards, and CeeDee Lamb 6 catches plus 166. Make sure you guys take that.
Take it.
That's the one.
Buy it.
That's the one right there. All right. Next thing, I do want to do this just because we're talking Seahawks Cowboys, brother. I was scrolling through Twitter today. I saw the playoffs. What kind of if it ended today, who we're gonna play? We talked about yesterday. I was like, all right, who would you guys want to play? Cowboy, like you could set up to where you might have to play the Cowboys, the Seahawks, not the Saints, but like the Vikings. There's a ton of teams, even maybe the Packers, the way they've been playing. Jalen, if you want to throw up that playoff bracket there, this is currently right now what the playoffs look like, Broder. What are your thoughts here?
Wow. So it's saying we match up with, is that the Seahawks? Of that, I'd rather play the Vikings. I'd rather play, although the Packers are right there, the 8 seed, 9 seed Rams, they're all in the mix. I don't mind that, just as long as we don't have to. Falcons are a 4 seed. Jeez.
Yeah, to win their division.
You're right.
We're in a tough position.
Oh
here.
my word!
You're gonna have to get the Seahawks. I think.
I want that 2 seed or that 5 seed. I don't mind welcoming the Seahawks back to Ford Field. I think they're going to play well. They would end that curse against them.
The issue is
they're a good team.
Yeah, the issue is if you don't get the 2 seed, you're going to either play the Seahawks or Cowboys in the first round.
Yeah,
that's all it is. Like
go get that 2 seed.
So you're either getting the 2 seed or you're going up Seahawks Cowboys.
Yeah,
and at least there'll be a home game. But man, Dallas Cowboys, imagine that. As hot as they are, and the Lions end up getting them the first round at Ford Field.
Jeez,
that would be brutal.
That's trivial.
I don't know what that word means, but yeah.
Yeah.
Trivial. It's a big word.
Do you start Geno Smith tonight in fantasy?
Zero chance.
You just bench him, figure out something
Do you
for
have
Sunday?
him started?
Yeah.
You should change.
I have him on the bench right now. I'm like, because they had a bye last week, I think. No, they played whoever
was
the
49ers.
Yeah, so I benched him anyway.
I mean, this Dallas Cowboys thing. I don't. The defense they have, dude. I don't see how he goes off.
You're right.
I think they keep it close, but
officially benched.
Going off though, like to where you want to be. Hey, let's start him in fantasy. Zero chance.
All right,
zero chance.
Point.
Did you see CD Deuce?
Yeah.
Did you see that post he threw up?
December 20th.
December 20th.
December 20th.
Take a look at this, fellas.
Ooh.
He put on his Instagram story. December 20th.
Ooh.
That means, guess what that means? Only 2 games left until December 20th, I believe.
Wow. So we get him for that Broncos game?
Yep. At home.
No, Broncos is the 16th. You get him for the Vikings, the last 3. That's good. Getting him some reps in there, even if we've clinched something or he's not technically needed. Getting him back, getting him his game leg, getting him his legs under him, especially if they're not going to get that first seed bye. We need him to be full form by playoff game number 1.
I wouldn't even mind if he doesn't even play in that game. It's just like playing the last 2, just like you said, get into form. Like, don't even go out there and try and get hurt or anything. Just go out there, get a feel for the game again, feel the crowd. Like, just go out, just get back in the game.
Yeah.
And then, so by the time the playoffs go and you're in there week 1 of the playoffs,
firing.
you're going.
You're buzzing.
Same with James Houston. I haven't heard about him in like a week.
Yeah, they've kept him quiet. He's occasionally out there on the practice field working, getting some
Was he out
reps.
there yesterday?
What? He wasn't. Like, he's still on the IR, so he does all his stuff separate. But he's running around. He's doing certain individual drills, rehab drills. But yeah.
Sorry.
There we go.
His camera was messed up. My
All
bad.
right.
Yeah.
What about Scotty?
Scotty
Montgomery.
Okay, so I had a thing with this real quick. We did talk yesterday about him potentially getting the Duke job, and then his name was in it. He did speak to the media in regards about, hey, you could be a candidate for that job.
It was interesting.
And you said the way he kind of talked about it, it was like, yeah, let's just not talk. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah, like you could tell he's not shutting it down. He doesn't want to talk about it right now. He's not shutting it down. He wouldn't tell us if he had been contacted. He gave us like a maybe with a smirk. But he did say he loves professional football, and it is a different life. His kids and his wife like that. He's an NFL coach. It's a different life. It is a 12-month job, but a 12-month job in college is like you're recruiting year round.
You're always on the go.
It's completely different, but Duke means a lot to him. Like
Yeah.
It means a ton. It helped him get to where he is today. He has a lot of love for his school. I can understand that.
Biggest thing too is one. Say he does end up getting that Duke job, and I mentioned this to you yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Guess who just got fired in Carolina? Deuce Staley.
Deuce.
So say he ends up leaving and going to Duke, whether it's for the head coaching position or an OC or whatever he does. Deuce Staley is available right now. He just went back home, so maybe you're able
a mid-season.
able to bring him back in. But I was looking at some of the candidates for Duke, and I don't want to nothing against Scotty Montgomery, but here are 3 candidates, and these are pretty big time dudes.
Yeah.
Manny Diaz, who's the DC over at Penn State.
This is
for the Duke job.
Okay.
So Manny Diaz,
Ooh.
Jason Garrett, former Cowboys head coach.
All right.
He is in the kind of race for it. I don't know the
connected to
connection
Duke?
there. He
Yeah.
must be a Duke guy. I don't know the connection, but he was on every single list I saw. These guys were
Wow.
on, and then Jim Knowles from Ohio State, DC. When I was actually at Michigan in Ann Arbor, he kept driving by in a golf cart next to me, and I kept going, "Scumbag!"
He doesn't even work. He doesn't even walk.
No, he doesn't. He just hops in a golf cart, and they take him to place to place.
Sounds like
I
Matt
just kept
Patricia to
yelling
me.
"Scumbag" at him though.
Sounds like Matt Patricia to me.
Yeah, but those are the 3 main guys. Every list I looked at, those were it.
Bring Coach K back.
Maybe have Coach K coach a football team.
Yeah, he's a man of the people.
culture
Yeah,
guy.
it's a culture thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we go to break, last thing here, real quick. Jim Harbaugh. Did you see these rumors?
To the Bears.
To the Chicago Bears.
Of course.
They keep coming out. Jim, if you want to throw that tweet up, the Chicago Bears have discussed hiring Michigan football head coach Jim Harbaugh if they choose to fire Matt Eberflus. Oh, Red Wings go.
There we go.
Comfort?
Who is that?
Ben Sherratt.
Ben Sherratt
Sherratt.
against former
Red-
wing Peter
Shout
Mrazek.
out.
Red
Oh, it's 4-1?
Oh, it's 4 now?
I didn't even realize
I had
the
the
score,
update
to
on
be
3
honest.
ready to go. I was letting you guys go.
Before the show,
noticed it.
I was just sitting up here and doing stuff on social. Didn't look at the Wings. That was the first time I looked up at the game. 4-1. Let's
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Wings. Versus Blackhawks too.
Let's go.
Kane is
Detroit
in the
needs
building.
it.
Kane is in the building.
Yes, sir. But with that, I did see a tweet as well that it said that potentially Jim Harbaugh and Michigan they already have a contract ready to go. It's only thing left is signatures, and Jim wants to stay in Michigan, wants to sign long term, wants to finish it off. Like he wants
Lifetime.
to stay.
Give him the lifetime.
But they did say Sharon Moore is kind of his successor,
Yeah.
so he's going to stay as well. But they said a deal. This was a tweet I saw. I don't know how valid it is, but it was like there was a ton of views. Like it was a legit source, and they said they're just waiting on the signatures. They said within the next month there could be a deal done with Jim Harbaugh. So all this stuff ends. Everything's like, all right, we're going to move on. We're with Jim, and they want to do it before. Like the investigations and stuff are going to go on for months. So they're like, we're just going to get it done now, and we'll figure that stuff out later.
Wow.
So
Epic.
if he leaves though for the NFL, I'm going to riot. To
Why?
the
What if we win
Chicago
the ship?
Bears,
What if we win the ship?
dude, I don't care.
What if we win the Natty? He can do whatever he wants.
He can do
I
whatever he
think.
wants. He's a
All
legend.
right, fair
Booner
enough.
called it with JT Comfort with his
There
second
we
goal of
go.
the game. Ben Sherratt has one, and Fabry has one as well. Detroit Pistons 22-35. Ivy did not play in the first quarter. Little update
Are they
for you
up
guys.
22-35?
They're down 22-35.
I just saw you're giving us an update. I thought it was a positive
update
one.
there before we hit Big Boy. So
You know who's going to hit it?
Hey, real quick,
yeah.
real quick. I'm going to tell you guys about Woodward in Maine, though. Woodward Sports Lions Insider Show, hosted by Gabrielle D. Phillips, our own Matt Broder, and Detroit legend Terry Foster. Make sure you guys tune in. It is Tuesday, 7 to 8 a.m., and they will be going live this Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Nick, tell them about Big Boy.
Yes, sir. Wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the veal parmigiana, their new Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl. How about breakfast? The stuffed potato pancakes are back. The classic lumberjack or Santa Fe Garden. Also, new apple pie hotcakes that are too good to miss. Top it all off with the new gingerbread shake for dessert. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. Whether you landscape for your job or landscape for fun, get all your equipment from Outdoor Equip Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan grown, family owned. OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com. Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Outdoor Equipment Company, let's talk about it. It is the official equipment provider of the Woodward Sports Network. Michigan grown, family owned. They have bad boy mowers, tractors, steel handhelds, and even weed whippers. Liberty trailers, Generac generators, Snow X-Pulse and Salters. Outdoor Equip Co., they have it all. Make sure you guys check it out. You can buy it, you can rent it, 0% financing, delivery right to your doorstep at OutdoorEquipCo.com. All right, welcome back.
Young Bonnie.
Yeah, Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate you guys tuning in here. Thursday night, this is our Friday show. No show tomorrow for Woodward Nights. There are shows all day. Woodward Nights out tomorrow. We are off for a, what is it again, Broder?
Oh, it's a Christmas party. Lady Jane's Christmas party.
Yeah. Yeah, Christmas party. All right. Let's talk about it then. Make sure if you guys haven't yet, hit that like button for us. We're only at 18 likes. Let's get up to 25, 30 likes. Lions versus the Saints, though. Let's get into this kind of preview here, Broder. In this first segment, we're just going to kind of go over our well, actually, I want to do injury reports.
Yeah, because it was very optimistic. It was a good one.
Yes.
I'd say. I mean, everyone we talked about yesterday being questionable was a full go today. We're talking Jonah Jackson, David Montgomery, Iffy Melifonwu. Frank Ragnow took the day off.
Go.
Rest. Bold rest. Anzalone's out, obviously. Frank Ragnow rested, but everyone else,
Full.
Not limited, not questionable, not none. Full.
Well, to
Jonah
be honest,
Jackson.
too, Frank Ragnow, that's just his, to me,
Right, it's
his
rest day.
off day.
It even says rest.
Hendon Hooker.
Full, baby.
Full practice today.
Mm-hmm.
He is back that's like an official hey, welcome back to playing football.
Yeah.
You're full go. You can get hit.
Probably putting some red zone packages in as we speak. I'm
Wow.
kidding. No, I'm
Tush push.
he's a better
He's
candidate.
way bigger.
Although I don't know if you want to push Hendon Hooker. Like
When you
there's a lot of limbs and big 300-pound
that's
men.
true. No, you're right.
You know what I'm
You're
saying?
right.
Like
You're
they
right.
aren't going to do that this
How
year.
much bigger is he than Jared Goff when you on the field? Is it visible? Like he's a
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's different. Hendon Hooker he's deceptively big. Like he's put on some weight in this time off, the time that he hasn't been able to practice. I definitely think he's put on 5 or 10 pounds. I know he's listed at about, was it 220, 6'3", 220. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm 6'5", and he was right up with me. He might be 6'4". I'd say 230. That's a big quarterback. That's and he's mobile. That's you start
tough.
thinking of Josh Allen.
That's
Like you start
nice.
thinking that type of athlete.
Jalen Hurts.
He's a little shorter, but
Is he?
a similar
Jay
type
Hurts
of
like,
style.
Jay Hurts like 6'1", but you got to think he's like 225, and his like he can bench press for like 800 pounds.
His
so, like,
lower body
that
is
takes up for him
insane.
not being 6'4" or like 6'3" or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
And
that's,
Hooker's a better thrower.
yes.
Yeah.
And he's got a cannon
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Which that's what I'm excited is in the fact that he's able to practice, get reps in, and kind of get that going. Also on there, you saw guys like Jonah Jackson.
That was huge.
Full go. Tracy Walker, D-Mott, who yesterday we all were like, well, what's going on? Are they good?
Yes.
Full go. Iffy, full go. So guys are back. Only to me, the only big injury that we have right now is Alex Anzalone, which is a huge piece for our for the defense. Which in a couple segments we do have some clips, actually of Aaron Glenn speaking about that. We've been asking this question like, who's going to get the green dot? Who is that going to be? Like, who are they going to throw in that kind of leadership role? Aaron Glenn gave us who it was. He basically told us today, this is who it's going to be. This is who's calling the plays. This is who's going to have the green dot. And we trust this man a ton. So we're going to talk about that in a couple segments here.
Yes.
I didn't put the Saints injury report in there, Broder, but I do have it here from today, and I'm just going to name out a couple here for you real quick. Cam Jordan did not practice for the second day in a row.
Wow.
Let me see. Rashid Shaheed did not practice for the second day in a row. Chris Olave, limited practice. He's in the concussion protocol, which I watched a video today in regards to that. Very odd that he's like limited practice and still practicing in the concussion protocol.
Yeah, how is that like? That doesn't mean that he's not in concussion protocol anymore. Like,
No,
I feel like you shouldn't be.
They said it's like light, so like he can't do a ton. But
Okay.
they said like even our limited practice, if he's limited practice on Thursday, they said they're most like the video I saw. It was like a doctor. He was like the most likely they're not going to play unless he's full practice Thursday.
Absolutely
because
massive.
of the protocol. So he still may though. The fact that he was limited for 2 days in a row makes me think maybe they're going to try and push that a little bit to get him back. Maybe it's not as bad as people thought. But right there, if that happens. Shaheed's out. Say Chris Olave's out. Michael Thomas is out.
Oh, it's a Taysom Hill and Elvin Kamara show.
This defense should have no issues.
They shouldn't.
Besides Kamara.
This is where you hope our boy Aaron Glenn schemes up some creative defensive schemes, some plays to get some pressure on. I'm assuming it's Derek Carr.
Yeah.
I know there's been some talk of Jameis Winston, but I'm assuming it's Derek Carr. You got to make his life difficult.
Yeah, and let's do this then, brother. Let's get into our keys to victory.
Oh,
I have
perfect.
3. I'm sure you have 3 as well.
I sure do.
So we'll go through them. I'll hit it first.
Hit it.
Can we? I said this about Dan Campbell and this scheme and this defense. Just we're gonna go back to the basics. Booner, it's time to go back to the basics.
Back to the basics.
Defense, it's time to go back to the basics. Turnovers.
Yep.
Win the turnover battle. I haven't said it in 3 weeks. I said it for 4, 5, 6 straight weeks, and they kept winning games, and I stepped away from it. And I was like, you know what? It's not that big of a deal. You're going up against the Packers, the Bears, these teams. You know what? No, I was wrong. I take some blame for these losses because I went away from the turnover battles, and those guys completely forgot about it. Dan Campbell this week, Aaron Glenn this week, Ben Johnson this week. All 3 of your top coaches sat at the podium and said, we need to win the turnover battle. Ben Johnson said we need to take care of the football. Aaron Glenn said we need to get turnovers, and Dan Campbell went up there and said both. You have to go get turnovers, and you have to protect the ball if you're Jared Goff. You cannot just you can't have 6-3 in 2 games. Cannot do that. So that's kind of my first one.
Love it.
Example I had 2 real quick is Dallas has been killing it the last 6 weeks.
Not turning the ball over.
Not turning it over, and guess what they've been doing on the other side?
Dubs. Getting
turnovers.
turnovers.
And they've been winning, not just winning, but they've been winning by 20 points every game, it feels like. That is the number 1 key in the NFL. I'm going back to the basics like AG should. Just get turnovers.
Love that.
Take care of the football.
Love that.
Thank you.
Possible clip right there. That's beautiful. I'm going to go a little. I'm going to say that the Lions need to score first. That's my first key. I think they need to score first. Whether that's getting the ball forced and going down and scoring, or making a stop and going down and scoring. I think not just setting the tone for the game, but also
Love that.
from a tactical perspective, that allows you to use the run game. So you're controlling the time of possession, and it forces them to try to air it out, which I know that's actually been the Lions' weakness, but I think the more we force them to go away from Alvin Kamara, the more we force them to get out of their game plan, the better.
I love that. I remember a couple weeks back when we were going on a winning streak, me and you sat up here and said keys to victories, and I think we did the same exact thing as we did here. As I said, turnovers, and you go score go get a touchdown on the first possession.
With the Chargers?
Set the tone of the game. Chargers? It might have been, and they did both, and they went out there and dominated. Whatever game it was, I remember.
Yes.
And I'm going to build off of yours right there.
Build it, Booner.
You talked about keeping the ball out of Kamara's hands. How do you do that? You keep the offense on the field. And how do you do that? You establish the run, and your offensive line gets back to what they've been doing all season long. Screw last game. Put that in the past. Move on. Offensive line, let's get back to where you were. You're the number one offensive line in the NFL for a reason for 13 straight weeks. Make it another week. Keep adding on to that. Establish the run. It doesn't just – it gives you long possessions, Broder. It gives you a 6-7 minute possession and keeps those guys off the field. At the same time, it sets Jared Goff up because we know exactly what is he good at? Play action. We'll say this every single week. That is his bread and butter. If you put Jared Goff in positions to win, he's shown it. He's 16-4, 16-5 in the last 21 games. I'm going establish the run and get that offensive line back on track from last week.
I love it. I'm gonna build off that too. I'm gonna build off that because you need the offensive line to score in the red zone. I think winning in the red zone on both sides of the ball, I think is huge. They talked about it in the press conference, but the Saints have one of the worst red zone offenses in all of football. Was it Aaron Glenn who had the stat? It was from somewhere else. But the Saints have, in the last two games, the Saints have 7 field goals in the red zone. The Lions have attempted 0. So they get there. They just can't punch it in.
Don't do it.
They are in a dome, so they're going to be kicking those field goals. I don't know. They still have Will Lutz. I forgot who their kicker is.
Yep.
But you got to win in the red zone. It's something the Lions have been focusing on. And they've actually done a good job of defending in the red zone. We got to keep that up.
I love that. Last one I have here, Broder, and I think this is a big one. Who's the heart on the other side of on the Saints team? Derek Carr, the quarterback. Disrupt him. Get your defensive line in this game. You know the linebacker situation we have right now. We already know that. Broder, I'm telling you, the way to kind of help your linebackers out is get to the quarterback. Don't if you're worried about Alex Anzalone in coverage, Broder, and you're sitting there and you're like, all right, we're losing our best coverage guy for running backs, right? Mm-hmm. All right, you have Alvin Kamara, Jack Campbell can't kind of take that matchup there. Get to the quarterback. Disrupt Derek Carr so he can't get the ball to Kamara. Yes. Don't give him the time to do it. Go disrupt him. AG talked about it today. Yes, Aiden Hutchinson has been. He actually called people out. He was like, if people are going to go at Aiden Hutchinson and you're just looking at stats, go look at how he's disrupting the quarterback. Because he was like, Aiden Hutchinson is doing it. And he called the other guys out on the team. He said, hey, but listen, other guys on the team outside of Aiden Hutchinson aren't doing it. So we got to figure something out to get those guys to do it. So we need to stop talking about how Aiden Hutchinson is getting sacks. We need to start talking about how these other guys aren't helping him out. That is from AG. That's not from me. Not from Booner. That's from AG.
It's from AG.
Broder?
We're going to talk about that more at 8:45. And I'll be quick with this one because great minds think alike. Right, Booner? My number 3, make life difficult for Derek Carr. How about that?
That's your third?
Yeah, that's my third.
Love it.
And I wrote next to it, AKA sack the freaking man. Like building off this, just make it difficult for him and sack the man. Whether it's Aiden, Aleem, or anybody, just make it happen.
Real quick, I want to go to the fellas. Do you guys have any number 1 key to victory before we go to break here?
Cricket.
I'll go.
My bad. I thought Jay was taking over that one.
No, I'll go that time. More so just being composed, being composed, don't rush anything. Like, just play with, real, just patience. When he gets rushed or, things like that, we kind of just, go all over the place. He can't run. So, just, stay composed, stay patient and just flow. Like, the defense, they're not that bad. You know what I mean? Like, we just don't score the ball how we should. But, just patience and, not getting nervous. Because I think we get nervous a lot sometimes, too. Like, we get leads or, we get, momentum and then we just lose it. So I just playing composed, staying patient. This is a big game for us, so just lock in because if not, the Saints aren't good, but they're not bad. They got weapons, so just stay locked in and be patient, I guess.
I think the biggest key to victory in my eyes here is I think the offense shows up it's all about the defense taking a step, and I think the biggest reason why this defense, or the biggest key for this game, is Captain Jack, baby. Come on. The rookie, number 18 overall, out of Iowa. He needs to step up in this game. Biggest key to the game, and I believe he will.
Let's go. I love it. I love it. All right. Appreciate you, fellas. Let's go to break here real quick. I'm going to tell you guys about the post game. When we come back, we're going to talk about the matchups. Lions offense versus Saints defense. We're going to kind of get a little deeper into the discussions we're having.
This is our pregame show.
It is. It's our pregame show. Once we go through those matchups, 8:45, we're going to show you guys kind of how these coaches feel about this game. I think that's actually, to me, when I go into these games as a fan and if someone here sitting on the desk and I do Sunday's pregame show, I look at the assistant coaches. What are they saying? How do they feel? Is their game plan correct? So I'm going to tell you guys real quick. Lions post-game show. Make sure you guys tune in directly after every single Lions game. That is a Woodward Sports Lions post-game show hosted by Maz and Stick. Make sure you guys tune into that. Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. Even a loss, they're gonna keep this thing going. They take phone calls, everything you want. Tune into that right after every single Lions game.
And Mark White, guess what? Winter is here. And if you're dreaming of a new home but feeling the pinch, we've got some fantastic news for you. Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Here's the deal, though. When you work with Mark White and Associates Realtor, they'll pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right. Buying a home just got a whole lot easier. Imagine having an extra $5K in your pocket this winter. With years of experience and commitment to make your dreams a reality, Mark White and Associates are your go-to team for all things real estate. This incredible opportunity won't last forever, so call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242 and let them make your winter home buying dreams come true. Visit their website, markwhitesells.com, or again, call them at 248-290-8242 to hear the full terms of this offer and begin your home search today.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Just in time for football. Cannabis is dropping a new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good, it's like the whiff of the first playoff win in 31 years. It's a gassy, aggressive strain named in the honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you are missing out. So smooth. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% off. Check them out online at www.canna.com.
Back Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. If you're on woodwardsports.com, appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're on the YouTube channel, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit subscribe, and if you haven't yet, share the show with a friend. Share the show with a friend. I had someone text me today, a good friend from high school, Broder, that messaged me and said, hey, I worked with someone. They were watching Woodward Sports, and I walked by and mentioned, hey, I grew up with them. I knew you. And like he knew who I was. And he right away was like, oh, Woodward Nights? Like, I love Woodward. Like, he was going off about it. So, shout out. I can't remember the name. I can get the name on the next break.
Shout out to you.
Whoever that was a fan of Woodward Nights.
We have the best chat.
We do have some
in the
great
network.
chat and some great people. I'm sure the person's actually watching right now. I will get that name and shout that person out. But let's do this, Broder.
Yep.
Let's break down the matchups here real quick. I want to start Lions offense versus Saints defense. Marshawn Lattimore is on the IR. Cam Jordan, likely a no-go. So 2 of their best defenders are not in this game here. And I do want to kind of look at last week, like, if you look at the Green Bay Packers game, they didn't have Jair Alexander. So, like, these to me aren't as like, oh, it's going to be easy.
No,
because you're in the NFL. They have dudes that stepped up. They still have Tyrann Mathieu. They still have the Honey Badger. He is a dog. Last game versus the Falcons, guess what? 2 interceptions.
2 picks.
So right now he's kind of, and remember what Aaron Glenn said about DBs? When DBs start getting interceptions, they start seeing the ball really, really well. So the Honey Badger just got 2 last week. Jared Goff, take care of the football.
Yes.
And that's where I'm at with this. Is
You going Goff, Honey Badger? Is that your matchup, or are you just,
I
just
think
painting the picture?
I think Goff in that secondary with turnovers. I'm kind of painting the picture with that to where that's going to be one of the biggest things to me is being able to take care of the ball and getting back. I think this is one of those games, bro. I felt like I said it a couple weeks ago versus the Bears. It's one of those games where you get back to that Chargers level. Like that number 1 offense in the NFL. Right after the Chargers game, I came on air and I said, go look at the stats. The Lions have the number 1 offense in the NFL, the most explosive offense in the NFL. And then the next 2 weeks, outside of the 2 drives versus the Bears, they proved me wrong. And I will admit it, but I want to get, like, we know what they can do.
It's a similar type of defense, too, when you think about, like, pretty good edge rushers. So your guys who can get pressure. They had Asante Samuel, a really good cornerback, and who's their safety again on the Chargers? He doesn't play similar to Tyrann Mathieu, but that secondary was good, but the Lions managed to pick them apart. That game was dominated from the start on offense.
Yeah, and I think Ben
Defense had some
Johnson,
trouble.
he called a great game like in the Chargers, and I think it's like, hey, they had those 10 days off. I'm going to keep saying this. Dan Campbell and these offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, they've had time to figure out what's going on. And next segment, we have clips of talking about, hey, this is what we need to do. We need to be peaking at this time. And I think this is that game. I think they're taking it serious. I think the players know. And I think Jared Goff on offense. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown. One big thing real quick before I throw this to you is the Saints give up 124 rushing yards per game.
Yeah.
Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery, go out and have a game.
I want to see 2 running back sets. I want to see multiple times.
Yep.
I would love to see them go off. I think it could be a big game for those 2. But a lot of you were talking about Tyrann Mathieu and that secondary being able to get takeaways. A lot of that has to do with Paulson Adebo, their cornerback.
He's a dog.
He's their best cornerback by far on the Saints this year, and he's playing like one of the best in the NFL the last couple of weeks. He's able to play he's able to cover wide receiver on an island, and that opens up things for the rest of the secondary if he can shut down that number 1. What will be interesting to see who he matches up with or how they use him because of how elaborate the Lions' offensive game plan is. You know, our number 1 isn't a traditional number 1 wide receiver, you know, playing on the outside. Amon-Ra St. Brown does a lot of different things. So is he going to start on him? Is he going to play on some JMO? Who is our traditional number 1 type receiver who plays on the outside? They play a lot of man coverage, the Saints do, and that part of that worries me. I mean, that leaves them vulnerable in some cases, but it's not like, other than JMO and Khalif Raymond, really, it's not like the Lions have a ton of receivers on the roster that really get separation consistently. And yes, Amon-Ra St. Brown actually does almost every play, but I'm talking about more of that traditional number 1, like getting deep, getting behind the defense, really affecting it that way. So how are they going to challenge him? How are they going to spread this defense out?
And he as well. He creates turnovers.
Yeah.
He has 4 interceptions on the year as a corner.
Yeah.
So he creates turnovers for like a ton as well, just like the Honey Badgers. So they have 7 combined interceptions on the season. So that's something to look at. And it's, hey, what are those matchups going to look like? How can you take advantage of those? Keep the ball away from those guys a little bit so you're not putting your defense back in those positions. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Defensively, let's flip it a little bit here. Last 5 minutes of this segment. I want to go to you first on this Saints offense versus Lions defense. This Saints, with their top 3 receivers out, potentially maybe a Chris Olave, we've talked about it a lot. There's 2 weapons that they have, Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara. But outside of that, this is a game your defense can get going. You can gain some confidence out of a game like this. And Derek Carr, yes, he's played some good football at some points this year. But guess what? The last 3 or 4 weeks, he's been beaten up. he's been hurt, Broder, and he's been taking shots. 2 games ago versus the Vikings, he didn't even play a full football game, and Jameis had to come in and take it. And he's kind of coming off. He's still coming off kind of just being absolutely torn apart. So.
That's why it was our key to the game in the last section. It's like
this defense.
Yeah, you got to be able to get to Derek Carr because he doesn't have those weapons on the outside. So it's gonna take a little bit longer for those guys to get open. I say that those guys, any wide receiver in the NFL can likely get open if they have 5, 6, 7 seconds. So that defensive line has to get to him. I'm looking at Jack Campbell versus Alvin Kamara as a key matchup in this game, not necessarily because he might be on him the whole time, or not just the run game or passing the flats, but now we're talking about Jack Campbell as the leader of that defense for this game. How is he gonna lead that defense depending on what the offense looks like, depending on what call comes in? He's gonna be the one making decisions, and I'm trying not to give it away. I'm sure people know what I'm talking about, but we're gonna talk about it next section. Jack Campbell's gonna play a big role in this game, and I think it's kind of made for him. His athleticism is made to go up against like a guy like Alvin Kamara who can beat you in so many different ways. I want to see Jack Campbell going sideline to sideline, but playing that traditional Mike linebacker position. He's going to be crashing those gaps.
He's back in his spot.
Yes.
And again, like kind of to the key to the game that I said last segment was this defensive line. If you want to keep this like a guy like Jack Campbell, a rookie, out of bad positions, put pressure on Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Like if you go look at some of his losses, and I'm going to take this Minnesota one away because he only played half of the game. But like Tampa Bay when they lost, he threw for 127 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Green Bay lost 18-17, threw for 103 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. He has these games when they lose to where you can put pressure and you can dominate him, and that's how I look at it. Look at Jacksonville here, 33. He had 55 attempts. 300 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but 55 attempts. If you could somehow keep the ball out of Kamara's hands and running the ball and just say, Derek Carr, go at it, and then you just go get pressure all night long on him, make him, I'm not going to say go out there and injure him, but make him feel it.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at with this defense, and I want to see Josh Pascal, time to step up. So they asked him, Ben AG, about that in the press conference.
Spent a lot of time talking about Pascal.
So they know. In the conversation we had yesterday about this defensive line, that guys' contracts are up at the end of this year. It might be it could turn into a positive for the Lions because guys are going to start trying to play for a contract.
Yeah,
which they should have been already. But
right
now they're like, oh no, yeah, they're like, I'm not going to be paid next. Like I'm going to have to go find a new job. And I think some of these guys hopefully step up and help Hutch. Did you have anything else on these matchups here?
No, let's go.
Would like to get into this next segment a little early.
Send it.
Do we have real quick, Nick? Do we have a Pistons update? I keep seeing in the chat that they played some.
Yeah,
he asked for it.
Let's go.
I'm telling you, if they're giving us something, we'll talk.
Go. I got one for you. Cade Cunningham, 18 minutes and 18 points. Pistons 54. New York Knicks 54 in the Garden. Pistons are showing a little bit of life. Asar Thompson and Jaden Ivey didn't get the start. It looks like they're going more defensive-based starters. We're tied at half. Well, let's see what happens.
Love that. Red Wings up 4-1 after the second intermission, too. Love to see that.
Detroit. Yep. All right, tell us about Feldman.
Feldman. You know, since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a world-class, first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage with 18 locations. Oh, the camera's perfect now. How about that?
Whoa.
You just figured something out. 18 locations. There's got to be a dealership in your backyard. Just visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. And check out Woodward Sports there at their Novi dealership every other Monday. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealership, Booner.
And let me tell you about this defense that we're going to see versus the New Orleans Saints. It is Guardian Alarm, customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians, they take the time to recommend security and automation solutions that are specific to your needs. It is 24/7 professional monitoring. You can give them a call anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian Alarm team member, they will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology that is backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that has been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Make sure for a great defense, call that number right above me, 1-800-STAY-OUT.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White and Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest hotels, restaurants, and casinos with beef. Lots of beef, prime beef, dry-aged beef, Wagyu beef, all the beef you could ever ask for. You too can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Just visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks or order online at fairwaypacking.com. Killed that. Killed
You
that
did.
one.
Welcome back. Woodward Nights, baby, on the Woodward Sports Network with Booner and Broder. As always, Lions, baby.
Lions, baby.
Live. It is a Lions pregame show for Woodward
Beast.
Nights. Appreciate you guys tuning in with us. If you have not yet, make sure you guys, there's like a little bug flying around me, and it's going to kill me tonight. I know it. If you guys haven't yet, hit that like button for us. Let's get up to 50 likes here. Tell a friend about the show. Tell them to tune in right now to Woodward Nights. We're talking Lions Saints. We've got a lot of stuff. I didn't even go over the full slate of stuff we have. At 9 o'clock, we're talking about college football, Michigan college football playoffs. 9:15 NFL Pick'em. This is going to be my favorite one. 9:30. Top 5 Thursday. We have rivalries.
Tell 'em,
Top
yeah.
5 rivalries.
All time.
All time. Doesn't even have to just be sports. I'm gonna give you guys a hint. I have a Woodward Sports rivalry I threw in there.
Wow.
I did.
An all-time?
I threw a Woodward Sports one in there. So you guys want to stick around 9:30? I've got actually maybe 2 Woodward Sports ones in mind.
I know we're acting blind, but I think I know one of, like, I want to guess.
I have 2 there. One is going to be really great. You guys are going to love it. All right, let's get into this. Coaches talked about and came out. AG and Ben Johnson both came out and spoke with the media today.
Yeah.
Fip did as well. Special teams
He
coordinator.
likes to tell nice long stories.
He does. He's a funny. I watch.
It's a joke.
I always have to watch. I always watch this. He's a great guy, but one thing I noticed about him too is like they had a tough game, special teams, like not getting that 4th down. A couple things went wrong. The onside kicked in, and nothing came out of it, and they had the penalty on it. And he was just like, he just was so apologetic. I kind of felt bad. I'm like, dude, I love him. He's one of the best coaches in the NFL, special teams guys in the NFL. But
he is great. He can run on though, and I say it's all good. Like it's a joke within the media, and he knows that he sometimes rambles, and he
kept apologizing to Dan Campbell. He was like, "It's on me. I'm sorry. It's on me, Dan."
That's what they all have each other's back, and I know it's kind of a joke, but they all have each other's backs. They want to do well for the other guy. Even Dave Fitt wants to do well for Dan Campbell. It's awesome.
So I want to start off kind of this press conference segment here with 2 different things. Both of the coordinators spoke about kind of peaking in November and December, and kind of getting into December, Broder, and what it means to kind of peak in that situation. And that's kind of the initial thing I want to start with. AG and Ben Johnson both talked about it. So we won't go back to back here. We'll do AG's and then come back, speak about it, and then we'll go into Ben Johnson's. But AG they both addressed the media in regards to, like, AG said, we're struggling on defense. Last couple weeks was not great, and he addressed it head on. But he said we're gonna make sure we're peaking at the right time on this defense, because we have seen AG put out a top 10 defense. We have seen it. He started the year with it. So I do have a little bit of faith that he can do this. So here's AG talking about the defense peaking. Do you got that, Jalen?
Peaking.
Here we go.
It's funny you say that, because that's what we've talked about starting last week. Because I'll tell you guys, just from my time of playing, people remember what you do in November and December. And you want to be peaking at that point. And when we look at, and that's when the first conversation was last week. And when you look at what happened last week, man, there were a lot of things that that doesn't really show up statistically. But, man, when you look at it as a defense, there are some really good things that the guys did. Scoreboard wasn't it because we lost. But when you go out there and you have 2 turnovers and you get a ball back. You have some 4th down stops and you get the ball back. I mean, those are things that our guys have to look at. But, like, you know what, we took the field. And our motto is, man, listen, that's more TV time for us anytime we take the field. And, I mean, those are the positives that I try to make sure I talk about with our guys, so we can start looking at the fact that we want to start trending. So was everything great? No, it wasn't. And we have some things we have to work on, and we all know that. So So each week, I mean, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure we're trending in this direction. That's in the run game. That's in the pass game. That's with our pass rush. That's taking the ball away also. So those are some things that we have to make.
All right, you guys
Funny
heard
you
it
say
there.
that because that's what we.
AG kind of talking about kind of peaking at the right time. I do see a lot of comments here, brother. You looked at me and were like, there's a lot of hate in the chat right now. I see IT Hips. Yeah, he's awful. He sounds like a politician telling you what you want to hear to inspire you. Listen, this is the thing kind of with some of these coaches. I get there are coaches to where they consistently will tell you what you want to hear. With AG, and you guys know I've been against easy sometimes when it comes to AG in regards to stepping up, putting the right schemes together, making sure you have a great defense on the field. AG has been up and down at times, but when AG puts a defense when he has it at its peak, it has been good. Like when we went 8-2, the Detroit Lions went 8-2 to end last year. That defense was top 15 in the NFL through that stretch. To start this year, and I saw someone in there go, Eduardo, shout out Eduardo, tuning in as always. But he said, I can't believe he said they were a top 10 defense. They're the 32nd. At one point this year, the Detroit Lions had a top 10 defense in the NFL. Statistically, it's a fact. So he has had these guys buzzing. I love the fact, though, Broder, that he was like, we're going to get these guys to peak. And the fact that he looks at this and goes, there was good out of this film. Yes, it was bad, but just like some of Easy's points, it's your offense did have 6 turnovers in 2 games, put you in so many bad positions.
Yeah.
Short fields. We talked about that versus the Seahawks. Remember that Seahawks game? They kept getting put in these short field advantages. And then after you were like, why did they give up so much to the Seahawks? And if you go look, it's just you're giving them 30 yards, 40 yards, and that's all you need for a drive. It's so hard in the NFL. If you just need to go 40 yards, man, you're going to go get a touchdown.
Yeah.
Especially versus an elite team, and that's just what's happened. And I think AG knows kind of how to turn this thing around. I know he's just talking, and I know just a fan there. When is AG going to step up? This is when he does it. And if he doesn't do it these next 2 weeks, then we can all sit down in this room and start to have a real conversation. Because these are the times that a DC is supposed to turn things around. And right now, have a little bit of faith in him.
Yeah, you talked about contract year for some of the defensive linemen, some of the guys on that defense going into next year. This is similar to a contract year. He's coaching for a head coaching job. That is his goal. So this is what people want to see coming down the stretch. You got an 8-3 team. How is this defense gonna respond? And I do think amidst all the coach talk, if you listen to it all closely, and I know we don't have the whole press conference for you, but go back and listen to it. There were a couple, I think, Freudian slips or words that he used that maybe he didn't mean to. Like he was talking. The coaches are trying to figure it out in terms of getting pressures and sacks. Then he kind of changed his words to like coaching them off, coaching their ass off. Guys are trying their butts off. It was a little like, I think they are like actually trying to figure it out a little bit. I think some of this is a little bit of a surprise to them. Like, why aren't they getting these pressures? We thought we had enough firepower, and it's just not happening. So I think they're kicking it into gear. Just what you said. These next 2 weeks, this is a big moment for AG. I'm not calling for his job, but this is the time you have to prove yourself.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things, and this is going to be the biggest struggle this week, right? It's going to be that linebacker.
Yeah.
And AG spoke about it today, and this is what we kind of alluded to earlier in the show, is yesterday we had this conversation, and we went around the room a little bit like, who's going to be the green dot on Sunday? Who's going to take that responsibility? AG came out today, and he spoke about Jack Campbell stepping up. And he goes, listen, Jack is going to be in that spot. He's a true Mike backer. That's basically what he came out and said. And he said he feels comfortable enough with him making different checks, calling plays out, doing different things. And we do have a video here. Actually, we have 2 videos. And we'll, Jalen, if we could just play those back to back, because they're both about Jack Campbell and kind of his development into being this green dot guy. So here's AG on his trust with Jack Campbell.
Well, that's the reason we got Jack. You know, he's a true Mike backer. And he has to be the one that makes all those checks. And he's capable of doing that. Smart, heady guy that's tough. He's built for these moments, right? I'm looking forward for him to be the actual mouthpiece of the defense going to this game. When we're in meetings, and sometimes I tell Alex, don't say anything, right? Because it's easy for him for the most part. The next voices you're going to hear is Jack. And that's encouraging, because what he does in the meeting actually translates to what he's going to do on the field. And he understands this defense like the back of his hands now. just the fact of him knowing that he's the guy, he's the mouthpiece, he's the guy that the whole defense is looking at to make sure we get into the right checks. And for him to have this opportunity right now, I think it's outstanding.
Real quick, too, just so you guys do know, that first question, and this is confirmed, Jack Campbell will be wearing the green dot on Sunday. Our first-round pick, linebacker out of Iowa, will be wearing the green dot, and he will be leading this defense, making checks, doing everything you need that Alex Anzalone has been so elite at. He is stepping into that role, and you guys heard it from Aaron Glenn there. For your defensive coordinator to sit there and have full trust in a rookie linebacker to do that and have that, I trust that Jack Campbell's going to step up. And I know there's been times this season he has missed tackles. He has struggled a little bit in coverage. But at the end of the day, Jack Campbell's a first-round draft pick for a reason. They're not just going to give anyone this green dot. They're not going to throw just him at that Mike spot. They could easily go, hey, Derek, hey, Rodrigo. No, they're like, hey, Jack, you're our future. We know you can do this. And the fact that he's only, 12 games into his career, 11 games into his career, and they're like, hey, on the road, in New Orleans, in the Superdome, this is your job. I have faith that he can do it, and I see there's some hate in here in the chat regarding Jack Campbell, if he can do it or not. And there's some people, I can't remember who it was. I saw a couple people in there put something in there about Jack. Oh, maybe he can't do it. I don't know. It makes me nervous that he's going to have to
more skepticism than hate.
You should have faith. You should be comfortable, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with Jack Campbell taking this spot.
But it's okay to have a little bit of skepticism because he hasn't played like that elite number 18 draft pick who you thought, a lot of us thought, I'll admit I thought he was going to come in and start day one and make a difference. And he hasn't done that yet. He's gotten better. He's had good games. He's had bad games. But to hear the confidence that Aaron Glenn has in Jack Campbell, I didn't think we were going to find out who was going to be wearing the green dot all week. I thought we were going to find out on Sunday. But for him to come right out and say, yep, we're giving the reins to Jack Campbell, the rookie, tells you what they think about his potential for the future. Mm-hmm. And they want to put this pressure on him right now. And I think, like I've said it, I think the last 2 days, it could be a blessing in disguise. Alex Anzalone missing a couple games, as long as it's nothing serious, as long as we don't go 0-2, 0-3, however long he's out. But Jack Campbell being thrown into the fire and being forced into some difficult decision making, this is just gathering experience, and I love to see it.
I want to make this clear as well, because Adam here in the chat, Adam, let me get your name.
Baum?
Adam Baum. He said Campbell hasn't shown much, so it's blind faith. Actually, if we're being completely honest, Campbell has shown you a lot. Because right now he's third on the team in tackles, and he started off with a low snap count the first couple weeks of the season. He has gotten into more snaps, and he has been playing out of position the whole season. He has never played a Sam linebacker. He has been playing a completely different position than he ever played at Iowa. Now he's going back to where he got drafted to play, and he is back in his normal spot to where he played for 4 years or however many years he played at Iowa for. That is where he's at now. He's shown you in a position that he was very uncomfortable playing that he could still produce, and was third on the team in tackles and made some big plays at times. Like, don't forget the first few weeks that he ended up getting that Sam spot after James Houston got hurt. Mm-hmm. Do you remember some of the pass breakups that he had, and people were, oh my gosh, or some of the sack that he had, or some of the quarterback rushes that he had, and people were like, whoa, Jack Campbell. It wasn't until this defense struggled a little bit to where he has missed a couple tackles in that Bears game. And I think if he didn't miss those tackles in that Bears game, I don't think people are skeptical about this at all.
And Justin Fields is super
toughest,
maybe the hardest quarterback in the league to tackle in that possession.
And he missed, two tackles in that game? So what are we doing here? So I think if you take away that game right now and you're throwing him in that Mike spot, people would be head over heels right now being like, oh my gosh. We're going to go over this segment just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to miss out on Ben Johnson. We can go shorter on the next few. But I want to get into this Ben Johnson stuff, Broder. Ben, on the flip sides to the offense. Come on. AG and Ben Johnson. Flip to the other side. Ben Johnson said something similar to start his press conference about that AG did. He addressed it right away, what the offense was going through, and he addressed kind of, this is when we need to peak. And he kind of gave an example of a former coach saying, you don't need to start playing your best football until after Thanksgiving, which was interesting to me. So here's Ben Johnson kind of talking about this Lions team peaking at the right time and this offense.
Good. It was good. Good to have a few days off and kind of hit that reset button and take a look at why the last two games have gone the way they have for us on offense. And really, when you look at it, we've been able to move the ball, but clearly the turnovers are the issue. So our guys know it. We're addressing it, and we clean that area up. We'll feel good about going into the next 6 games of the season. Been around a coach in the past that used to say the season really starts after Thanksgiving. So kind of feels that way here this year.
All right, there it is, Broder.
BJ spitting.
He said, I heard it from a coach I used to.
Yo, bro,
Yeah, dude,
that's
come
crazy, yo. You guys.
Trying to talk some lines.
I'm not going to.
So quit asking.
We need to get a drop like, hey,
Thanks for getting me hard, JB.
This is what Smoke was talking about on Armani and Edwards, Shane. Yeah, so you said something?
I was all I wanted to finish that off with. Pause. All I wanted to talk about that was in regards to the dude. It just. Oh my gosh! I feel like we're on the heavyweights right now.
No, God, please, no.
Broder. He talked about. You lost me with that. He talked about kind of just getting at your peak there after Thanksgiving. I think this is the perfect time, and I think all of them know it to kind of turn it around.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things he said, and I know we're kind of moving fast through this, later in the press conference, he just talks about how when they've gotten hit in the teeth in the past, like the team has responded. He dated it back all the way to last year. It may have been the first year with Dan Campbell. He's like, there are some stretches they've had that haven't gone so well, but they've always responded. I love to see it. He has a lot of respect for that New Orleans secondary, too. So
yes.
So they got some guys, and he's going to be game planning for them.
Last thing here before we go to break, I want to play a video. The main thing I think they'll worry for Lions fans on offense is these turnovers. Ben Johnson addressed it. Someone asked him, hey, what's going on with this Jared Goff, these turnovers? Are you guys addressing this? He came out and he spoke to them about it, said, hey, Jared Goff's a pro. He's a veteran. He knows exactly what to do. Here is Ben Johnson talking about Jared Goff and those turnovers.
Really everything for him, because he touches the ball every play, so he knows he has to take care of it. It's one of the first things we do every springtime with him is we go through the uncomfortable act of watching the turnover, the bad play cut up, sacks, fumbles, intercept. Why did they happen? How can we learn from it so it doesn't happen again? And listen, the ones that we've had over the last 2 weeks are not entirely his fault. Some of those interceptions, that's the cost of doing business, where we're trying to throw a slant route and Laporta gets knocked off his route and this corner's there to make the play. So those are ones that we can live with and we can handle. And our defense has done a heck of a job. We put them in some tough spots the last 2 weeks, and they've really played good football considering the sudden change, as many of them as they've been put in. But the ones that we can clean up, I think Coach already talked about it, is we're crossing line of scrimmage. That ball's got to be tucked away. We're not thinking about holding on to it or throwing it anymore, so we got to tuck it away. Jared knows that.
He's such a well-spoken guy. Like, you know exactly what he's thinking, what he wants to get done. And he takes responsibility for some of it, too. Talking about how, yes, Jared Goff does need to tuck the ball away. When he's running, he needs to protect it. But he also said he's got to do a better job of putting him in a better situation, plays that can get the number one option open more or a quicker second option. I just love that he's the architect of this offense. And I think these boys, the last 10 days they've been off, they've probably been training maybe at Planet Fitness to get ready for this game. So, Booner, what do you tell them?
What a
about
transition.
That?
What a transition. Planet
BJ.
Fitness, it is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. Over at Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, full body workouts in just 30 minutes, and all memberships, they include fitness training. You get all of that for just $10 a month, no commitment. Make sure you guys check Planet Fitness out. They have hundreds around the Metro Detroit area and thousands worldwide. That is Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel. Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Call Premier Pet Supply. Don't settle. Give your pet the best. And that means going to Premier Pet Supply, Michigan's best pet store. They're family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, 60 brands of food, lowest prices, and curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best at www.premierpetsupply.com.
All right, welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate you guys tuning in here. Wings are going, Pistons are going, Thursday night football going. Got a lot of things going on. We're fighting against every network in the world right now,
But we got 84 people here, and we love all 84.
All
of you.
84.
Thank you.
On Mondays and Thursdays, we fight for our lives.
Which it just makes it all that better. The people are in here. It'll grow. It'll grow. You're our community. This is who we know. During those times where we have all the competition, the people who are here are the people who we need to take care of.
We love all of you guys,
It'll grow
too.
organically, but you guys are the best.
Big M here,
Let's
said
go.
Broder, Booner, thanks for the entertainment. I have to go. Chat, take care, have a good evening. Appreciate you, Big M. Appreciate you tuning in. Tune back in. Come watch the rest of the show later on when you have a little bit more time. Let's get into this, though, here. And Booth Boys, want to get you guys here. We're doing a pick-em as well, college football. We're going to talk a little college football. Jalen, to start this off, can you just throw the college football playoff bracket up there? Or not the bracket, but the standings up real quick? Because we haven't talked about this yet, but on Tuesday, we spoke about it a little. We just haven't looked at the full standings. So
I waited so long.
all right, here it is. So number one, this came out on Tuesday. Number one, what happened? You're smiling over there.
Yeah, shout out Neil Rule in the chat. Let's
Neil
go,
Rule,
baby.
Let's go. And I think Neil Rule might be in here because we're doing our top 5 Thursday. And I tweeted out there and I tagged him in it because Neil might be in one of our rivalries.
Wow.
Just a heads up there.
Love it. Thanks for tuning in, Neil.
Here's the college football playoff rankings, though, heading into this championships Saturday. Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Washington 3, Florida State 4. This is where things get a little interesting to me, at least. You got Oregon at 5, which I think is the right move. Ohio State. This is the one here. You see Ohio State at number 6, and then you have Texas and Alabama. Those are 3 lost teams, fellas. And I think this is where you start getting into, can Ohio State sneak back into this top 4? They were put above 2 other 1-loss teams because of that loss to Michigan.
Yeah.
So if things start to happen there,
that's the best loss in the country.
It is. My thoughts here when we kind of get into this and go into these conference championship games, though, is if Texas wins, do they jump Ohio State? And Jalen, you could bring that down there. And I want to go around the room here and kind of get that thoughts, too, because Florida State, there's the two biggest storylines to me going into this weekend is, should Florida State get in undefeated with no Jordan Travis? That's my biggest question.
That's tricky.
And number 2 is, if Texas wins, do they, since they're a conference champion, it's Ohio State's fault they're not playing in the championship game. So do they jump to Ohio State? Even with the 1 loss they have, that's kind of my thoughts on this is maybe the college football playoffs purposely put Ohio State above Bama and Texas to show, like, hey, this team, we feel this team's better. They have the better loss. Nick, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on those 2 different things, Florida State and then Ohio State getting in?
Yeah, obviously I think they have Ohio State at 6 because the other 2 actually play and have a chance to still win their conference championships. But that's when it's going to have to come down to style points, especially for Florida State. They need to blow the doors off of Louisville with their backup quarterback, because if not, I don't see this committee putting them in here at all, to be honest, from Florida State's point of view. And then with Texas and Bama, they still need style points as well while they pick up the wins in those games to make sure that obviously they're locked.
Yeah. Jalen, what are your thoughts on this Florida State situation?
It's a little tricky because, Florida State is undefeated. I think Louisville is a great team. Roadmakers, that is named the quarterback, the new guy.
Yeah.
I don't know how good he is, but if they come out and kick their ass, by double digits maybe, they can put in a fight for that last spot, because the committee already, basically canceled them out. They already said, Jordan Travis isn't playing, they don't want him in. And I feel like that's kind of unfair, because he didn't make that team like 100%. He's a quarterback, 50% of it, but like Keon Coleman, Trey Benson, those guys were busting their ass, and now he gets hurt and you penalize them, you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's the tough part of it.
If they come out there and go crazy, I think they'll win. Same with Texas, against Oklahoma State. They should kick their ass too. And then, Bama, if Bama somehow beats Georgia, then like the whole thing's effed up, because you have to pick between Michigan, if Oregon beats Washington, then what? You got Oregon, Oregon, Michigan, I don't know, Bama, Texas, Florida State, and Ohio State maybe. But Ohio State will probably be the 6th team looking out. But if Florida State comes out strong, you have to take them into consideration, because it's not fair to them after what they've done the whole season to just block them out because they lost, Jordan Travis. It's not fair at all.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. And I don't think it's fair, but I think that they have to prove with the quarterback they have now that they can compete. Because if they don't, because like their first game with him versus Florida, they won the game, but versus a 5-7 Florida team, they did struggle. They didn't look like the Florida State that you kind of like saw with Jordan Travis. They still looked great, but you could definitely tell there was a little bit of a difference. I think going up, and to be honest, let's start here with the pick'em here. We'll start with Louisville versus Florida State, not at Florida State, but number 14 Louisville versus number 4 Florida State. They're 2-point favorites. I'm going Louisville. I think Louisville wins this game. They've been great all season long. They only have 2 losses versus Pitt and Kentucky, which to me, like that Kentucky, that's a good Kentucky team. Like I think Louisville goes in, and I think they beat Florida State. No Jordan Travis. I think that's kind of where the committee said, hey, we'll put you guys at 4. We know you guys probably are going to lose this game. Right. Because they struggled versus Florida. This Louisville team's 10 times better than Florida, in my opinion. Yeah. I think this is a better football team. They lose. I'll go, let's go around this way. Let's go opposite usually.
I'm going Florida State. I think this is one of those times where losing your best player it unites your team. I think you're going to get the best game out of Rodemaker and the rest of the players around. Does that bode well for the college football playoff? I don't know. I don't know if they'll be the best team, even if they're undefeated and make it. So we got to see what the committee does, because they're thinking about that money too. But I do think Florida State's going to win this game and make it difficult moving forward.
Jalen, who do you got winning this game?
I'm going to go Florida State. I'm going to go FSU, man. The Seminoles, they got something to prove right now, you know what I mean? So Rodemaker comes out there. If he does his job and they, make a statement, they're going to have a chance. But like Broder said and what we all know, they want to make money. They want to put the best teams in there. That's why Ohio State kept getting there, because they had all the players. Like they had the show. People want to see Ohio State play. So I don't know if the world wants to see FSU play in the playoff without Jordan Travis. So even if they do win,
it's about money.
It's going to be very hard for them to convince them, because the show itself would not sell if they have FSU in there without Jordan Travis. So I'm going to go with FSU for the win, though.
And that's the thing. It's all about money. Nick, who do you have in this game?
Yeah, I'm going to go Florida State here, and they have to win it big. They have to win it convincingly, like we all just stated, or they're not getting in if they win this game by less or by a field goal. They need to win 2 scores or at least 10 points.
3.
Yeah, maybe up to 20, or they're not getting in. There's just simply put that they're not going to get into this college football playoff without a massive win against Louisville.
I love being on an island, especially in this game. Louisville's going to win this football game. You guys,
it's a 2-point spread.
I'm gonna get it
ridiculous here.
What are we talking about? Ridiculous? It's 3-1. If it's not that ridiculous, take Louisville.
He's on an island. It's a 2-point spread.
I'm on an island here. It's 3-1. It is crazy because I'm on my own. All 3 of you guys picked Florida State.
Is there a penalty prop on Florida State? Neil says 8 penalties loading. Can you bet on that stuff?
Neil's right. They're not good with penalties, man.
Okay.
Hey, I'm on an island here. It is crazy because it's 3-1 here. We're going to skip over this Texas game, though. Is there anyone in here that thinks Texas loses?
Nope.
No,
15.5-point favorites. Anyone?
Nope.
We'll skip over that. Let's go Georgia, Bama here. We'll go around the room with this one. I'll start. We'll go opposite this way. We'll go Nick. This is an interesting game to me. This is, I think, the biggest game of the day. 4 p.m. Number 1 Georgia versus number 8 Alabama. This is the matchup I think everyone's been waiting for all season long. The SEC championship game. This is the dogs, kind of where they come out and start eating here. Nick. Who are you taking, Georgia or Alabama?
Yeah, the dogs have been eating for 2 years straight. haven't really lost a game here. I bet they lose on Saturday. Roll Tide, baby. I'm going with Nick Saban and Alabama. They had their scare last week, but they made it out alive. And thank God they did, because they're going to come out swinging against the Bulldogs. Shout out Alabama in this game. They cover, and obviously I'm picking them to win here. Bama back in the playoff.
Jalen, who do you like in this game?
I've been saying it for the last month or so. They're going to sneak their way into the playoff, and they're going to kick Georgia's ass. Jalen Milroe is locked in right now. He's looking good. And it's Nick Saban. You can't bet against Saban in the playoff. They've lost, the last couple of years, and Georgia's nice, and Kirby Smart's a great coach. I just don't feel as confident in this Georgia team. They barely beat Georgia Tech. It should have been a blowout, but they barely beat them. Well, they beat them by like a couple touchdowns, but it wasn't a lot. Put it like that, you know what I mean? So I'm very big on Bama, Roll Tide. I've been saying it for long. They're going to cover this, but they're going to win, flat out.
Like Great Charles, I got Georgia on my mind. I think they're just going to continue to win. They're going to keep that number one seed going into the playoffs, and Georgia might meet Michigan in the championship.
They may. Yeah, I'm gonna go here. I've been on the battle here. I think I'm gonna take Bama in the spread. I think it's 5.5. Yeah. I'm gonna take Bama spread, but I think Georgia wins the football game. I think it comes down to the last possession. Carson Beck, I think they find a way to win it. You might see a Brock Bowers touchdown at the end to win the football game. That's just all I'm going to say. I think Georgia takes it. I think a lot of people are going to end up being on Bama when it comes down to it, and then Georgia kind of pulls it off, kind of what they've been doing. Let's go to break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit Michigan here. We'll push everything back a little bit. I know we were going over. We'll talk Michigan here, and then we'll do our top fives, and then to end the show, we'll go quickly around the NFL and get our picks there and give our Lions score predictions.
Boom.
Let's do it. Let me tell you guys about Hamlin Pub, baby. Have you ever wanted a bar where you are a regular? We have just a place for you. Head over to one of Hamlin Pub's 7 locations and experience where everyone is a regular. They have half-off pizza on Thursdays. Game day specials available during all Michigan sports and NFL games. Hamlin Pub is the place. If you guys want to know, on Saturday, we're actually doing the pregame show. It's going to be me, Spencer Raxler, doing the Big Ten Championship pregame show. I believe Nick will be there doing the sound as well. That is at the Hamlin Pub and in Richmond. So if you guys want to come check it out, check
Elite
the pregame
crew.
show out. Yes, I think Jeff Frady will be showing up a little bit. Hollywood, he'll be showing his face there. Make sure you guys visit the location today, though. Hamlin Pub, experience your new favorite pub for all things sports.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like a landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. Whether you landscape for your job or landscape for fun, get all your equipment from Outdoor Equip Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan grown, family owned. OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Do you have football on the brain? Well, fall ushers in college and professional football, and this fall has already been awesome. It's also a perfect time to shop for your home and auto insurance, so shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you, so ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today. Find him at SwissINS.com or call 248-800-4177.
All right, welcome back, Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. If you're on woodwardsports.com, appreciate it. If you're on the YouTube page, make sure you guys hit that like button for us. Let's get the likes up here. We'll get up to 75 here within the next couple segments. So hit subscribe on that. What are we at? 56.6K. subscribers.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's keep that thing rolling. Tell a friend about the show.
I want more.
Let's get into some Michigan versus Iowa. I know I will be doing the pregame show as well on Saturday from 5:30 to 7:30 at Hamlin Pub. But this is going to be. I don't know how to feel about this game. Iowa has been probably the ugliest 10-2 team of all time in college football. Every single over-under is like 24, 25, 26. For the fact that a Michigan over-under, I believe, is right now, it might still be, I think it's opened at 36.5, is insane to me. It's nuts. They are 22.5-point favorites. The biggest news to me out of this game, you just beat Ohio State. Massive, massive thing. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh out for 3 games. Now you have this game to get into the playoffs. This is supposed to be a walk in the park. Harbaugh is back. What I want to see out of this, we're going up against an elite defense, Broder. I have to see this offense. Like you're getting it's not a test. I'm not saying this is a test, but going up against an elite defense, you're going to see elite defenses in the SEC when you play in the college football playoffs. Take advantage of this. Let JJ go out there and play some football. Let Blake Corum kind of let these guys open it up. With Harbaugh back, I think maybe you see a little bit more of that because we did see it after he kind of got suspended earlier in the year. They did struggle that Bowling Green game, and then he came back and things kind of turned up it a little bit.
It wasn't always pretty with him out.
No, it wasn't. Now, are there any issues? Do you have any kind of like worries or issues going? I don't really have much, to be honest. Any issues going in this game? I just want to see this offense produce versus a great defense. That's all.
I don't, except for the fact that this is like a perfect example of a trap game in the sense that and I don't think they're going to, but you could totally overlook this game. You just beat Ohio State in the biggest game of the year. Everyone's talking about that game. You're talking about Harbaugh coming back. You're talking about will Petiti show up and give Harbaugh the trophy if they win. I'm gonna hope that they focus up harder to get this win, to be able to have that moment where we see the Big Ten commissioner give the trophy to Harbaugh. But you got to take care of business early. Don't give these guys any opening at the beginning of the game where they think, oh, this is a game we can score 20 points, and this is a game where Michigan lays an egg. You got to start out hot. Put them away early because they can't score. They struggle. Yeah, let's just be real about it.
I saw a stat too on Twitter where it was, I think the team total, I don't know what it was on. I saw it was at like 1 point. For a half, not a full game. Each half was like 1 point, and I think their team total for the game was like 5.5, 6 maybe. So I don't think Iowa gets much. I think this almost said Lions. This Michigan defense kind of dominates this offense. They have nothing. Do you remember that Iowa Northwestern game at Wrigley Field? Oh. That was the worst football game I've ever seen in my life.
And he got Cade McNamara talking.
I'm sick of his ass.
Going out there trying to say,
the other team up north.
I'm doing everything I can to help to help them beat that other team. Cade, Eric All. As soon as they transferred, I knew it was like, these guys, dude, like whatever, man. Like, me and Flannel we bonded a little bit on that. I'll go here to the Booth Boys, though. How do we feel about this game? Both Michigan guys. How are we feeling about this game? Any no nerves, right?
I guess.
Are we good?
No nerves. Like Broder said, it is just the ultimate trap game. Coming off maybe like the biggest win in Michigan, like history as of late, beating OSU for the 3rd time, shutting up all the critics that called out the cheating and whatnot. But I think the biggest thing I want to see in this game is the ability to make big runs. Zach Zinter is out. We've been missing that all year, is the explosive runs from this offense. I want to see how we fill that Zach Zinter guard spot, and we really need to step it up here. That's the one thing I want to see. And then once you establish that big runs, let JJ loose, like you kind of said there, Boone, because you're going to have to in these big games in the playoff. So
versus
two
great
things
defenses.
that I want to, versus great defense, versus a great defense. Those are the 2 things that stand out to me the most. And obviously, don't let this team hang around at all with any like pick sixes early or something, because that's what their calling card is, Iowa's defense.
Jalen, how are we feeling?
I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's Jim's first game back. Everything that we needed to get done is done for now. The Iowa game is just like a practice game for us, I think. You know what I mean? Like, Zach's out, but I want us to establish more like halfback counters, like Nick said, to go off of him. Like, go outside, run the ball outside. When we go outside, we always score. We get like a big run. You've seen it happen in the Ohio State game last year with Edwards and Corum. Run outside, mix it up a little bit. Run some play action for JJ. You see what he was doing against Ohio State, dotting everything to Roman and things like that and Cornelius Johnson. But, just, outside runs a little bit, play action. I think this is a game we're gonna let loose because if we win this one, then we go win again. You can't run the ball the whole game against Georgia or Bama or schools like that. So practice this game. Try some things out because I was dog shit. So
yeah,
just try some things out.
That's where I'm at. This is like to me, it's like in high school when you have those preseason scrimmage versus really good like I'm not saying Iowa's really good, but versus good teams, to where Iowa, their defense is still good.
Yeah,
like they still have a great defense. So against a team like that, you're able to go out there. It's like a scrimmage. Like, hey, let's work on this. Let's go out there. Let's try and get this offense buzzing before the college football playoffs.
The boys are buzzing.
The buzzing, man. Upper decky. Hey. Sorry, that those terms got me yesterday.
Oh yeah,
but that's where I'm at with it. Is use this game. Get ready for the college football playoffs because, yes, you're going to have 3 or 4 or 5 weeks off until January when that comes, January 1st, January 2nd. You're going to have time off. So you have to use this game as kind of a stepping stone because last year, if that happens, what happened? You cannot go lose another college football playoff game.
No.
You cannot.
It's natty or bust. We've been saying all year, natty or bust.
That's not in question.
The season's a failure if they don't win the national championship.
100%. And we're not. You cannot settle for that. You have to attack every game. Last year, Purdue, they won the game and it felt comfortable. They should have dominated Purdue. Go dominate Iowa. Go beat them 38-0. That's what I want to see.
So, Booner, now this is a hypothetical. I know we all assume Michigan's going to win, and I don't want to speak too far ahead in advance, but assuming they win, will this trophy ceremony be the most anticipated trophy ceremony of all time?
Yeah, it will be, yes. I'm want to know if Tony Petitti will show up.
Is he going to show up? Or is
I
he going to be a coward?
Rumors. I actually heard Matt say it on E&E. He said Tony Petitti is going to be hanging out with
Pete Thamel?
Pete Camel and Paul Cinnabon. So that's who he's going to be hanging out with.
Love it.
Yeah, the crew.
Maybe not
the
of
crew
all
of
time.
misfits.
Maybe not of all time here, boys. When I sat down with Braylon prior to the big game in Ann Arbor, the game, he said, remember when Roger Goodell had to hand Tom Brady the trophy? So that could be after the whole cheating scandal that Tom went through. So
I'm going to
put this. I'm going to put this with a little bit up, but that is a very, very good call out. That was a moment. Was that after they beat the Falcons? No, I don't know. Who knows? That was a big one.
One of the
Petitti. I hope he shows up. I don't know. If he doesn't show up, he's gone.
All right, here we
go.
Top 5 rivalries when we come back. Broder.
Yes.
Tell us about Dispo.
Dispo, this is where Armani and Edwards and the heavyweights will be tomorrow in Hazel Park. But you could go to Experience Dispo Romeo. They have a team that curates an exclusive atmosphere mixed with fresh inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. They got the first ever cannabis mall of its kind located off of Van Dyke and 32 Mile Road in Romeo. That Romeo location is open till midnight, Monday through Saturday. Not Sunday, but Monday through Saturday. Can it get any better than that? Nope. I don't think so. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com. They are your local cannabis plug.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
How would you like to win a $100K Vegas getaway? You want to take your friends to live it up in the city that never sleeps? It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase the 24-pack today and enter to win at drinkcintron.com and buy Cintron at your local Meijer store. Cintron, they are the healthier energy drink with great taste so you can look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself with Cintron. Enter now at drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
All right, welcome back. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate you guys tuning in here. Thursday night. Again, we're battling against the Wings right now. They're up 5-1. Pistons, I believe, are losing right now. And then we are going up against the NFL. The biggest one of them all. We're going up against the NFL here on a Thursday night, but we're still rolling. We're going. Hit that like button for us. Let's get over 75 likes. We're getting into this, Broder. Top 5. It is Top 5 Thursday for us.
There are already some good ones in the chat, both creative and sports related. Like Peaceful Tim goes left Twix versus right Twix.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and we got some other ones. Top 5 rivalries. The away fans got some good ones. You might be hearing some of them.
Yes.
Right
we
now,
don't want to name any of your guys' yet. Give it away.
Yes.
We're going to start with Broder. Mine's a little different. I'm going to make it clear. I think I only have 2 or 3 actual teams, and then I went a little different on this. I had fun with it, and I think the people will love it. Broder,
Booner, you're a little different. It's okay.
That's why I'm Booner. All right,
never
Broder,
loses.
Hit us.
Jalen, if you could throw up my list, that would be fantastic. Coming in at number 5. Only reason this isn't number 2 for me is because it hasn't had the same pizzazz in the last, decade or two. But Red Wings or Avalanche, growing up, this was the rivalry in all of sports.
Huge.
I mean, it was epic. It was the Darren McCarty era. They went back. They went face to face for many, many years. It was intense. At number 4, I'm going Duke versus UNC.
One of my favorites.
North Carolina basketball. I had a hard time leaving them off. It's always the time. Just seeing whether it's at UNC or you're seeing the Cameron Crazies, it's an epic game every year. The third one, I was deciding, and I have in my honorable mention list some player rivalries. I decided to go towards the teams, but I put them both on here for number 3. We got Celtics Lakers / Bird and Magic. This is an all-timer. I didn't get to witness the most epic part of this rivalry, and it hasn't been the same in the last couple years. But there's no denying Bird Magic. Those rivalries were something to be
love that one as well.
Happy about.
Maybe on Booner's list.
Number 2, New York Yankees versus Boston Red Sox. This is. I mean, you couldn't make a case for this to be number 1.
Yeah, I was looking at a bunch of lists today. Every single list I looked at, that was 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So, and it did not make my list, by the way.
And I think it would have been number 1. It had to be number 1 until Boston won their first World Series since since the curse, since the Great Bambino. It might have lost a little of the spotlight in the public, but Yankees Boston Red Sox is one of those. It's must-watch TV every time. Coming in at number 1, we just saw it. This past Saturday, Michigan came in with the win.
Game.
University of Michigan Wolverines versus Ohio State Buckeyes. Doesn't get any better than that. It's a hateful rivalry. There's a lot of hate, a lot of spite that they spew at each other, and we saw every bit of it this entire college football season. So, hey, there's my list.
Love it.
What do you think? What do you guys think, guys?
To be honest, I love it. Because I think like I obviously I went a different route and I did do some teams, but I think you went the team route, and I think that those are great rivalries.
Love it.
3 of those are on my list.
Okay.
So we were pretty much in lockstep. I like it though.
Thank you.
I don't think you missed on any of them.
I'm interested to see what you've done to this list.
This is exciting. All right, Jalen, here we go. This is my list, the Booner top 5 rivalries of all time. I'm going to start with the honorable mention. I give myself honorable mention. Booner versus losing bets. You guys all know I don't lose. That is the biggest rivalry. Number 6, I had it on the list. Number 7.
I like this next one too.
Our own from Woodward Sports, Speak Easy himself versus Being Wrong. That man would never, until he dies,
your list wins,
admit that he was wrong on any take. I could bring him stats that he is wrong. Guess what? Actually, I will admit. He's admitted to me twice. I have a text from him that says I was wrong. That man on air, he'll fight tooth and nail.
Never.
I love Easy as well. I know he as soon as I tweeted it out, he retweeted it instantly.
Did he?
So I know he loves it. That's just all in fun and games. Number 5, I have Duke versus UNC. I grew up a college basketball fan.
Yeah.
That was Kobe kind of got me into basketball, but then I really got into it. Kyle Singler those days, Nolan Smith, which I did meet at the Final Four.
Kyle
a few years
Singler?
back. back.
We're talking about this rivalry, and you go Kyle
I grew
Singler?
up. That was when I started watching college basketball. They
I
went and won a national championship. Nolan Smith was like one of my favorite players of all time growing up, and I actually met him in a Final Four a couple years back. So that was awesome. Duke versus UNC, all-time one. Number 4.
Look at this.
Woodward Sports' own Neil Rule versus Jeff Iafrate.
Wow.
Cannot leave this one out. I'm gonna go local on this one here. Every time I turn on my YouTube and it's BDE or Morning Woodward show, those two guys are mentioning each other. They're going back and forth. If it's Lions, Michigan, Bees, I don't know what it is. These guys are going at it, and I love it. It is one of my favorite things to tune into to Woodward Sports, to see what these two guys are going at it about. Whether it's even in the back, they go at it. They love each other, but those guys, it is one of the bigger rivalries.
I'm going to be honest. I thought you were going to, when you teased this, I thought Sam Flannel was going to be on here, somehow incorporating Neil or D-Mac or Legends. Flannel versus Legends.
That's a huge one. I missed out on that. That's a great one.
It's like Keon Coleman being left off the transfer portal top 50 list.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Insane. Number 3, Darren McCarty and the Detroit Red Wings versus the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, baby.
I had an experience a couple months ago when they did that documentary, and I went to LCA with some of my cousins, and we sat down and watched it. One of the most incredible things right there, if you go watch that doc, you can feel what that was like. And I probably wasn't even born when that rivalry started. I was still young. And just watching it back, going and watching highlights back, and the Claude Lemieux stuff, the fight, all of that is unbelievable. I have to have that. In Detroit, you have to have that one in your top 5. Number 2, I know it's kind of high up on my list, but when I say I grew up watching Duke UNC, at the same time, I grew up watching Kobe Bryant. He got me into sports growing up. So Kobe Bryant versus the Celtics versus Paul Pierce. Anytime, it feels like
Antoine Walker.
Anytime, even in a regular season game, whether they're bad or good, anytime Lakers Celtics are on, I'm tuned in. It is one of those rivalries to where I just see those two colors on the court, and I'm like, this is great all time. And number 1,
bring them home.
The game, Ohio State versus Michigan. And I had to throw a couple things in there. Ryan Day, he cannot beat the University of Michigan. 3 straight losses. That is a rivalry. He's trying to figure that out before he loses his job. Ryan Day versus Personal Investigations. That man created his own company called Third Day to investigate the University of Michigan. And then Ryan Day versus Ohio State fans. You guys know Lucas Klotz, our very own here. Shout out Last Day Tomorrow. But he says it himself. They hate Ryan Day. Ohio State fans want Ryan Day out. That is the biggest rivalry to me, is the game and everything that has to do with Ryan Day, the scumbag himself. Great segment. Love that.
So we kind of had 4. We had 4 overlappers.
We did a couple.
Yeah. But it was presented in a different way. I love it. Got to hear from the booth boys.
Yeah, I know. Nick before the segment was I've got some rivalries for you guys.
All right, baby. Let's go. I love your guys'. They're
love you
a
too.
lot of the classics right there in the top 5, specifically the Michigan versus Ryan Day. I'm gonna start this one off right here with Ron Artest versus Pistons fans.
Love that.
Ron Artest versus Pistons fans. Shout out the Malice at the Palace for that one. We're gonna go with a couple Detroit Tiger ones. I'm gonna go Javi Baez versus a slider. Biggest rivalry in all of sports. And I'm gonna close this one off with Jim Joyce versus Armando Galarraga.
Oh, that's a great one too.
Nick is goated right now.
Detroit
rivalries that are
I like that.
forever engraved in the Detroit legacy, Detroit sports legacy.
Nick wins. That was a great one.
I cooked up those 3 for you.
Wins. You got any, Jalen?
Well, I'll go, I guess. I'll go.
It's hard to follow that.
I like 3 though, and you took one of mine.
Yeah, hey, that's okay.
So I'll go Boston, New York.
Hell yeah.
When they fought, I think it was 03, 03, 04. Because I think it was Alex and Ortiz, wasn't it? Or Alex and Manny, I think, something like that.
Like Roger Clemens and
it was real
Mike
detailed.
Piazza.
I'm gonna be a little different. Then I'm gonna go.
Those Mets.
I'm gonna go WWE. Make it a little different.
Ooh.
I'm gonna do John Cena versus Randy Orton. For all those WWE guys in there, I seen someone say something about WWE.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
Weaver versus NBA draft.
And then I'm gonna do when I do a baseball one, I'll do Carlos Guillen and Gerald Weaver. We could do that one.
Oh wow, that was epic.
We could do that one. A little stare down, a couple games in there. Nothing too crazy. We'd do that.
God, we need to have we need to do this again.
Yeah,
you inspired me, Nick and Jalen, and you.
No offense, symbol.
Dude, what?
Booth Boys a symbol.
That was epic. Jim Joyce versus Armando Galarraga.
That was elite.
Javi Baez versus Slider off the plate.
That's a great one.
There's some good. Ja Morant versus firearms.
That was good.
Josh Giddey versus IDs.
Oh, dude.
Whoa!
Aaron Rodgers versus medical science.
Tyler's on a roll.
Jeez. Keep putting them in the chat. We're going to go to break.
Yeah, we gotta hit break here because we gotta get into some
Sundays are
NFL.
crazy,
We've got to get
bro.
into our pick'em here. All right, let's get to break. When we come back, we're gonna do our NFL pick'em. We're gonna do our Lions scores. We're gonna get into all of that. Let me tell you guys, Woodward Sports Lions Insider Show, hosted by Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Detroit legend Terry Foster. This Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. Make sure you guys tune into that on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube, so you guys can get all of your insider information before the game Sunday. And then Big Boy, make sure you guys check it out. Wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the veal parmesan or the new Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl. How about breakfast? The stuffed potato pancakes, they are back. The classic lumberjack, Santa Fe Garden. They also have the new apple pie hotcakes that are too good to miss. Top it all off with the new gingerbread shake as well for dessert. Stop over at your local Big Boy.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand, you offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They got the same great service to customers they've come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today, their flagship location. Find the brand you want, more Maz Les Stanford at lesstanford.com.
All right, welcome back. Woodward Nights.
That's a Mike G exclusive.
Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate you guys locking in here with us. That was a great segment. We're gonna keep doing those. We've been doing it, I think, for 2 months now.
Yeah.
Top 5 Thursdays. That was a great one. So
Are you sending a message to Neil?
No, not to Neil.
Are you beefing with Neil?
I would never. Neil, I love Neil. Neil's taught me a lot. Shout out to Neil. We've done some shows together. They were fun. All right, let's do this. We're going to go through this quick because we're a segment behind. Around the NFL pick'em, and then in this same segment, we're going to steer over to our score predictions for the Detroit Lions. Do you have the records here?
I'll be quick with it. Booner, you went from second place to third, a tie for third place. Yeah, you went 3-5 on the week. Worst of the week. But we got Nick and Booner tied at third. Booner and Nick, 54-45 record. Coming in at second, Jalen, 1 game up, 55-44. He went 6-2 on the week last weekend. I know it was Lucas.
Oh, it was Lucas. Yeah. I was like, I can't remember who picked for him.
Third team. And then I do stand in first place. I also went 6-2. I'm up 4 games on Jalen, 59-40.
How about that? How many games are you?
I'm up 4.
From third?
5.
5 total? Okay. Got to make up 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games here. Nick, Rob is going to go to you and start kind of going around here. Let's do these quick, fellas. Colts are a 1-point favorite at Tennessee. Who do you got in this game?
This is going to be starting a bit of a trend for me. I'm taking the home dog. Give me the Titans.
Titans? Wow.
Love it. Jalen, who are you going?
I'm going Titans.
Wow.
Titans.
I'm going Colts all day long.
All day long.
Titans are nasty.
Wow, this is tough.
Colts are kind of clicking a little bit.
They are a little bit, but
Josh Downs, Michael Pittman Jr., Jonathan Taylor
is hurt.
Zach Moss.
Jonathan Taylor
Zach Moss was
hurt.
Running better than Jonathan Taylor at the beginning of the year.
Give me the Tennessee Titans and Will Levis. I promised myself I would never bet against Malik, or not almost Malik Willis, Will Levis. All right, next game
Same
here.
thing.
This is actually a real, and I know this kind of seems ugly with the Broncos, but this is a good football game. Broncos at Texans. Texans are 3.5-point favorites. Nick, who do you have in this football game?
Give me C.J. Stroud and the Texans, baby.
Wow. Jalen?
I'm going C.J. Stroud.
Wow. Once again. Let's go. Let's ride. Broncos, baby.
I'm going Broncos as well.
Let's go.
They're on a 5-game win streak.
They're hot.
They're playing well.
Let's
and I know C.J. Stroud, but
Gotta get all their losses or get all their wins out of their system before they play the Lions.
Yep. All right. Falcons 2-point favorites versus the Jets. Ugly game. Had to put it in there. Just an ugly all-around game.
At the Jets.
In New York. At MetLife. Nick.
Like I said, give me the home dog. Give me the Jets. Jets. Give me the Jets.
Love it. Jalen.
Go Jets. Oh, let's go.
Wow. Now I'm just thinking of, do I take the Falcons to keep it going? I'm going Jets.
Jets. All right, I'll go opposite here. I'll take the favorite. I'll take the Falcons in this one. I don't even know who the Jets quarterback is going to be on Sunday.
Doesn't matter.
I'm taking the Falcons.
All right.
I'm doing it. Dolphins. I wanted to throw this in there just because we needed more games.
Yeah.
Dolphins. They're 9.5-point favorites. Versus the Commanders. Can we just go around real quick? Does everyone think the Dolphins beat
I don't
the
know.
Commanders?
It's a way. Did you see that thing about the Miami Dolphins stadium, by the way? It was built so that the away sideline, it can get up to 30 degrees hotter on that sideline.
That's nuts because of the sun, probably, the way it comes up
it is
and
an
down.
insane advantage.
That's
I get
wild.
why they can't win away. That's in my head, but I don't know. Minus 9.5.
I'm going Dolphins. Anyone in the room not going Dolphins?
Dolphins, fins up.
Anyone going Commanders?
No, we'll go Dolphins. You ain't got to come here.
Dolphins all around in that one. We probably shouldn't have even done that game, to be honest. 49ers, this is a huge football game for the NFC and kind of this seeding here. 49ers, 3-point favorites over the Eagles. 3-point favorites on the road in Philly. That is something. That shows something there. Nick, who are you taking here? 49ers or are you taking the Eagles?
Yeah, it looks like it just moved down to 2.5. I am going with the home dog. Fly Eagles. I think they stay hot and just continue to win close games.
Fair
Eagles.
enough.
Don't you hate when it goes down to 2.5?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, but that is gross.
Anyway, That's So Raven lives in San Francisco, so I'm going to go with the Niners.
That's so Raven.
It's the future I can see.
Oh, bars.
So you going Niners?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Eagles.
I'm gonna go
because I'm rooting for the Eagles too. Like going for that.
Seeding wise, if you're going for the 2 seed, I still think San Fran wins this game. They've looked good the last few weeks versus Seahawks last
really
week,
good.
and the Eagles have been playing in a ton of close football games. And I think eventually it's going to give, especially versus the best football team in the NFL right now, which is probably the 49ers. Even though the Eagles are 10-1. Browns minus 3.5 over the Rams. Nick, who are you taking?
Home dog. Give me the Rams.
Rams.
When I was picking all of these, I was like, damn, there's a lot of home dogs here.
Jalen, who are you with on this one?
Yeah, bark faster. Awesome.
I don't know who the quarterback is for the Browns, so I'm going with the Rams.
Might be Flacco. It might be Flacco. DTR. He's the number 2 on the depth chart.
If it was 2012, I'm going with the Rams.
He played well for a game for the Jets last year. He threw for 4 hundo. I'm going Rams too.
I'll go opposite. I'll go Browns. Give me that defense.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't even know who the quarterback is, but I'll take the Browns. Last one here. We'll go around. Chiefs minus 6 over the Packers. Chiefs. Is this Chiefs all around? Does anyone think the Packers can win this football game at home?
I don't even want. You don't want to hear what I got to say.
What? I do want to hear. When you set it up like that, it makes me want to hear what you got to say more.
Something juicy.
I think the Chiefs will win, but not minus 6 though.
So the Packers cover?
I think the Packers are going to make it a game.
They have something going on.
I don't know what it is, bro.
Jordan
but
Love.
go Chiefs, but it's not going to be minus 6.
Jordan Love's been playing well.
They're a little cheeky right now, but I'm going with the Chiefs.
The Chiefs
I think
all
they
around?
come back down to earth. Shot wings.
I really want to pick. Like, there's something about. I'm gonna go Chiefs.
Chiefs?
Yeah, I gotta be smart.
Yeah.
Broder, do it.
Do it, switch.
Do
No.
it. You want
No,
to.
I don't.
You have a
succumb to peer pressure.
You have a
Back
huge
off.
5-game advantage over all of us right now.
This is what separates the greats. I'm not just gonna succumb to your peer pressure.
You were talking
Stop
about how
saying
much
that.
you wanted to do it.
I know, because they got. I don't want them to be good, but I don't know. They got something brewing.
Man, they get to cooking, bro, and they just can't stop.
Yeah, like if Jordan Love plays well, it's a different team. I'm not going to take him. Keep trying.
Do it.
Here, puff, puff, pass.
Take it.
Yeah.
Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2. Packers.
Chiefs.
All right, I'm taking the Chiefs as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Before we go to break, we want to give our Detroit Lions versus the New Orleans Saints score predictions. Broder, I'll let you start us off.
Why?
Do you want us to go to the booth first?
No, I'll start.
I was going to go you than the booths, but if you want to go booths and you.
No, I'll go.
Right, hit it.
I'll lead this because I have the Lions winning. I have them putting up 27 points.
Oh, you took mine.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm going first. And I have them giving up 17 points. Lions victory 27-17. That means that the Saints have a red zone field goal. That's what we're calling for. It's just going to be I don't know if it's going to be the cleanest game of all time, but it's not going to be ugly. They're going to figure some things out, and the Lions are going to get back to their elite ways. They're just not going to score as many points as they have the potential to because they're going to be handing the ball off to David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs after they score the first touchdown of the game.
Love it.
Can I hear that final one more time, bro?
Yep, 27-17.
All right, I was just making sure.
I have a 27 as well, so I'm
no way. Shut up.
I'm nervous here.
All right.
Nick, what do you have?
27-23. The Leos, baby. Give me the Leos and the Lions. I think that we are going to be able to score, but we're going to get scored on. I think that's just what it's going to come down to this year. But Jack Campbell does show up in a big way in his first game. Maybe he makes like a big pass defended like he did in that Chiefs game. A couple big tackles in space against Kamara like he needs to. And the Lions win 27-23 in New Orleans.
Jalen, where you at with it? What do you have?
I'm going to go 28-20.
I'm not going to, so quit asking.
Wait, say it again.
28-20.
Lions?
Yeah. If you keep it a little close.
4 tutties?
4 tutties. You know, Saints go 2 tutties, 2 field goals.
Interesting. You know, I had 4 tutties too and a missed extra point.
Oh, God, I hope not, bro.
You had a missed extra point?
No, I don't know.
All right.
I was just thinking, like, are they going to kick 2 field goals? Why did I pick 27?
I'm going to go, as always,
we got 27.
The Detroit Lions win the football game, beat the New Orleans Saints in the Superdome 27-14. New Orleans gets 2 touchdowns, no field goals. I think they do get a touchdown. Maybe in each half we can do that. We'll say in each half. But I do think it's a similar game. I don't know if you guys remember a couple weeks back when the Lions played the Raiders and it was 26-14. I think you see something similar here. I think it's just kind of Lions are going to dominate the whole time. You're never going to feel you're not going to feel that like, oh, this we could lose this. But I'm going to go 27-14. Both running backs score a touchdown as well. And make sure you guys tune in to the Lions pregame show. I will be on the desk with Jeff Frady, and I will be giving out the Booner legacy. It did fall to 7-1 on the year.
That's still a pretty good legacy you're building.
It was literally just because Jahmyr Gibbs didn't score a touchdown.
Really? Otherwise, your remaining legacy would be 8-0?
8-0.
Wow.
Still a legacy. Being 7-1 with the legacy play is elite.
The old Manny.
All right, let me tell you, when you guys come back, we're going to do mailbag. We'll maybe go a minute or two over for you guys since we did push everything together, stretched it all out. But let me tell you guys about Lady Jane's. Come to Lady Jane's. Haircuts for men. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing there, bro. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Registered to win a trip of your dreams. An all-expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That is right. No expenses spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Join Woodward Sports and Long Drink live every home game for the official Lions VIP tailgate party. It's at Eastern Market in Shed number 5, and it's always a bash. Starts at 9:30, runs up in game time. We got food, we got drinks, we got entertainment. Come pregame with your friends here at Woodward Sports. Just head to bullseyeeventgroup.com to get your tickets. Again, that's bullseyeeventgroup.com.
All right, welcome back, Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. If you guys haven't yet, hit that like button. We're way behind on likes right now. We're at 60-something here. Let's get to 75 here to end the show. We're getting into mailbag. Let's get to 69. We're in mailbag, though. Make sure you guys drop all of your questions here. If we get more, we'll go over a little bit. We're in it really late right now. We're in mailbag really late.
We're good. We got some good questions, though. Oh, okay, I'll start. Eduardo O'Neill, mailbag. Thoughts on this? The best Woodward Sports rivalry is Flannel versus the Chat.
That's a good one. Flannel has a few. You can go Flannel versus the Chat, Flannel versus Detroit versus Legends in general, Flannel versus Neil, Flannel versus D-Mac.
Yeah, Flannel versus Legends.
I mean, there's just so many you could go with that.
What up, Robert Lane? Freddie Felt, mailbag. How many sacks do the Lions get on Sunday? Also, great show tonight, fellas. Great show to you, Freddie Felt 313. I threw it on the ground. What do you think?
I'm gonna go. I don't want to go 5 again. I don't have a feeling they hit that 5 mark. I think maybe 2 or 3. 2 or 3, I think, is that line there. I just want to see Hutch get one, and just want to see some of these other guys step up, and maybe you'll see one of these Aquara brothers get something. Maybe John Kaminsky. Maybe probably we'll see another Lee McNeil one.
How about
I want to see someone, Derek Barnes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2.
Charles Harris. Just give us 2 or 3 sacks.
How about this? Etienne mailbag. How crazy would it be if the Lions play the Rams in the wild card? Stafford versus Goff. Stafford at Ford Field. Imagine the storyline going into that game.
Can they? Where are they at in the standings?
They have a chance. They're one of those last 4. They were like 9th or 10th, but they're in the mix with the Vikings and the Seahawks.
They're in. They're 5
Packers.
and 6.
Yeah.
They're 5 and 6 right now, so they could definitely get in. I mean, they're only 1 game behind the Vikings. They're 2. I mean,
it's a possibility.
They're 2 games behind the Seahawks, so they could definitely. I'm sure they play the Seahawks as well at some point.
We don't want Stafford to win a playoff game at Ford Field.
That'd kill that'd set us back like 2 years.
If we lost to them, yeah, that'd be bad.
That'd set us back.
Yes, great one, Etienne. God hates cowards. Mailbag. Jack Campbell, Josh Pascal, Brian Branch combined tackles for the game. Guess.
Let's say Brian Branch. Let's say 7. Jack Campbell, let's say 10, so 17. Josh Pascal, 2, 1. 1.
Okay.
18, 19,
Okay.
18. Maybe just to give Jack Campbell and Brian Branch some more, I'll go 20.
Yeah, I think Jack
Pascal,
Campbell's going to have
what one to put in there, huh?
Yeah, no, Aaron Glenn was calling for him. Josh Pascal, he's a big part of this defense. He's got to show up consistently. I'm going to go in the mid-20s. I think Jack Campbell's going to have 14, 15 sacks on the sacks. That would be amazing. 14, 15 tackles. Has like a crazy Quay Walker type of game where he's just eating everything up.
Peaceful Tim said, mailbag, Broder, have you ever offered to rub Frank's big toe for the team?
Yes. Foot fetishes. I'm into it. Not really, but...
that just hit me, man.
Thanks for getting me hard, JB.
No. I haven't.
Here's a good one. Tyler Chevet. Who do you think, Broder, will be the standout offensive and defensive player for the Lions versus Saints?
Wow.
I'm going to think them on real quick.
I think defense is either going to be Brian Branch or Jack Campbell. Actually, no, not Brian Branch. Tracy Walker or Jack Campbell. I think we're going to see Tracy Walker play up in the box a little bit more this game. Sort of help that take on a similar type of, like a hybrid Anzalone role. Yeah. Then on offense, it's hard to not go with one of the running backs. I've gone with J-Mo a couple times. I'm going to go with Jameer Gibbs.
Oh, he took mine.
Suck it.
I had Jack Campbell and Jameer Gibbs in my head, which that's a good thing. That means we both feel like they're good. Actually, I'll switch it up. Give me Sam Laporta. Give me the other rookie.
Okay.
I'm going to go 2 rookies. Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta.
How about this? Full State Farms. Mailbag. What player gets a turnover for the Lions?
Oh, I want to say Kirby. Last week he was
Big Kirby day.
I want to say Kirby. I want to say Kirby. I might say Kirby. Give me Kirby.
Go for it.
I'm
Kirby.
going Kirby.
Kirby. I'm going Brian Branch. That happened.
Here said mailbag. Lorena, would Booner make a good catcher for Broder?
Yeah. Can you catch?
Yeah. Where's the ball? Throw it to me.
No, they can't. Pitch to you. Nice.
See?
Look at that. He would.
Hey, can we real quick? I want to do this. I want to talk about this real quick. Lucas's fart on the Morning Woodward show was one of the funniest moments of all time at Woodward Sports.
I'm out. Yeah. And I'm gone. And
how funny was that?
Remember Little Dicky? Yeah, it was funny.
It might be one of the Slack. I think it might be in the Morning Woodward show one, but it's just one of the funnier. Oh, it's on that the heavyweight Slack if it's in there. It is one of the funniest. One of the funniest. I watched it 1,000 times, and that might not be an exaggeration.
Boys will be boys.
That was hilarious.
Steve Lehman, mailback. Who would you like to see as the DC next season?
That's a great
assuming
question.
Aaron Glenn moves on. Dare you say
Kelvin Shepard?
Jesse Minter?
Kelvin Shepard.
Shepard, a little promotion.
Give Kelvin Shepard the job.
But isn't that always the reason people want, like, you want someone in the system that apparently isn't working to continue up?
Yeah, I think Kelvin Shepard.
He is a future
Kelvin Shepard. He's going to be at the top of that list.
Nick?
And the Detroit Pistons moved to 2-17.
They lost.
This is brutal.
16 straight losses. Listen, real quick before we leave.
Doublest December.
Tom Gores. It would be lovely to hear from you, Tom Gores. Either that or sell the team. One of the two. Do something with this basketball team, though. You have a lot of passionate Detroit Pistons fans that have won 3 championships, and they have been waiting for something. In the last 12 years, you have given them nothing. Either sell the team, Tom Gores, or come and say something about this losing streak and step up. I'm done with that. All right.
Someone's ass is on the line.
Love you guys. Here's my baseball throw. I'm a lefty. Love you guys. Tom Gores, sell the team or figure this thing out. I don't care which one it is, but do something. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow.
Toodles, my G's.
Make sure 8 p.m. Oh, actually, wait. Not tomorrow. Monday. We are off tomorrow. No Woodward Nights. Morning Woodward show. Big D Energy. E&E in heavyweights. Neil, if you're still in here, now you see we officially have the scraps. We got our show canceled for Friday night. We'll see you guys Monday.
Change up incoming.
Love you guys.